Hey, I'm back with another music review, and today I want to talk about this. It's Uncle Moe's Space Ranch, and this is actually the second Uncle Moe's Space Ranch album, and this one's actually called Moe's Town. You can see it down here. And so, for those of you wondering, like, what is Uncle Moe's Space Ranch? What is this? Basically, this is a jazz fusion supergroup. So this music is actually jazz fusion. It has five members here. You have T.J. Helmrich. Where is he? Here. You have Brett Garst. Those are both on guitar. You have Gary Willis on bass. You have Scott Kinsey on keyboards and Dennis Chambers on drums. So if you're familiar with any of those or all of those, you know they're all virtuosos on their respective instruments. These two, Brett Garst and T.J. Helmrich, were famous for being on the Shrapnel record label, and that's kind of like a shred guitar label, but actually their music is more fusion. Scott Kinsey and Gary Willis are both in Tribal Tech, I believe, and Dennis Chambers is world famous for his drumming. I believe he became most famous for drumming with Santana, or I think also as a child he drummed with, who is it, Parliament Funkadelic and George Clinton. But he does lots of fusion records, and he's amazing. All of them are amazing, and that's one of the attractions of this album. So you're probably thinking, okay, this probably just has some basic, songs, and then it's just like a shred fest where everybody's just going nuts. But it's actually not that. What's actually kind of interesting about this is this is like a real like fusion or prog rock album even. If it reminds me of anything, I'd say it's maybe more like Return to Forever. This is really they change tempos and change sections a lot, which makes this interesting. So instead of having the same groove throughout, it changes from one groove to another groove. So one second they might be doing blues, next second they're doing jazz, next second it sounds really like an ambient song, next second it might sound like a metal song or something. So it has it and it blends it all together, which I think is the strong point of this album. So this album consists of 9 different songs. I don't know if you can read the back here, but if not, just check on the internet. You can find it. And they're all fairly long. I'd say between like 5 to 7 minutes. I think one's even like 10 minutes long. And they all have these different sections in between them. And almost all the players get solos during most of the songs, which I like. But another thing that really attracted me to this, and I think is the strong point of this album, is their use of effects and different instruments. I really like how they don't just stick to like one guitar sound or one keyboard sound. They kind of mix it up. So sometimes you hear electric piano, sometimes you hear acoustic piano, sometimes you hear organs, sometimes you hear synthesizers, and same thing with the guitars. You hear clean guitars, you hear distorted guitars, you hear all sorts of strange effects on the guitars, etc. And I think this really helps keep this interesting. And it's not just, oh, this song has distorted guitars, this song has clean guitars, but even throughout the song they kind of mix them together. So from a like production standpoint, I really like this album. On top of that, the playing is incredible. So overall, I really like this. This is a really good album. The only thing I would say is somewhat weak is I think that like the melodies. So when I think of this, I don't have any like hummable melody where it's like, oh, I remember that song. I just remember like in general it being good. But if you like complex music where you want to hear, oh, I want to hear shifting key signatures, they have that. I want to hear complex harmonies. They have that. I want to hear shifting time signatures. They have that. I want to hear different sections that sound completely different. It has that. I want to hear some like dissonant stuff. It has that. So all that is in here. So if you're somebody that just like easy listening, this isn't the album I would recommend. But if you want to hear something more complex and you want to hear some musicianship, and not only that, but you want to hear some musicianship with good production where it's not like it's the same song over and over again, or even if you like, I just want to try something new, something I probably haven't heard before. This is really good. It's not the same old boring thing you've been listening to. So definitely check this out. I would say my favorite songs were probably Snout, Valentine's Day, Please note it is named Valentine's Day. It's not me with some type of speech impediment or something. It is named Valentine's Day, or maybe Audio Roomba. But I think all of them are good. The only one I really didn't like was Nitro Squirrel, which just seems to be a long drum solo, which is cool if you're a drummer. So if you want to hear Dennis Chambers just go nuts, it's cool for that. But like I said, everything on here I think is generally really good. Check it out if you haven't, and maybe I'll review the first album later. The first album is somewhat similar, but it has some differences, so be on the lookout for that. If you like this, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done that, and until next time, see you.